Yesterday, we had studied about India's foreign policy in the in post-Cold War period, and we had seen how India had reacted and how it had formulated its relations with big powers and also with extended neighborhood, which included East of Asia, Middle East, West Asia, and the prime ministers in post-Cold War period had adopted very active policy towards various regions of Asia. Narasimha Rao's Look East policy is one example of that, and later on in Modi's period, it was made into Act East policy. So India tried to improve its relations with Japan, South Korea, Israel. Israel was given recognition. We had studied about this yesterday. Today we will be talking about India's relation with its neighbors in post-Cold War period. In post-Cold War period, the prime ministers, the governments that were formed, they were headed by different prime ministers like Narasimha Rao, and after him there were coalition governments of H.D. Deve Gowda and I.K. Gujral, and after that Atal Bihari Vajpayee became prime minister, and then Manmohan Singh, and then Modi, who is still presently the prime minister of the country. So we will see how all these prime ministers uh, reacted, or not only reacted, but they took some action towards India's neighborhood. In 1990s, India had a neighborhood which was very disturbed, and we can see that India's neighbors were not very friendly with it. Although our relations with bigger powers was on a positive note, our relations with our neighbors was very much disturbed, and the actions which were taken earlier, like we can see the example of Rajiv Gandhi's action in Nepal when the treaties regarding tariff and trade had lapsed, and Rajiv Gandhi delayed the renewal of these treaties, causing much anguish to the people of Nepal, to the common people of Nepal. So, in Nepal, there was anti India feeling. If we refer to Sri Lanka, we find that India had sent its peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka in 1987, and during VP Singh's prime ministership, IPKF was called back. This move had uh, taken its toll, and Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated uh, by sympathizers of Sri Lankan cause or Tamil cause in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka was also not on a very good terms with India, because despite all efforts having been made by IPKF, no one, even in Delhi, was ready to be thankful to Indian Army, which had carried out a very tough war uh, on foreign land. So, if we look at Bangladesh, we again find that the government there was not very friendly with India. So, Pakistan, of course, is an old foe, is an old contender, and India's relations with Pakistan have never been good, and so we are not counting Pakistan and its relations with India when we talk of conflict ridden Indian subcontinent. However, in 1999, we had this Kargil conflict, which escalated tension between India and Pakistan. So, India got a neighborhood post Cold War, which was very much disturbed. In fact, it is said that in post Cold War period, South Asia was the most disturbed region in world politics. And all our prime ministers had now to have good relations with the India's immediate neighbors so that India could make its place in the world, because we need a peaceful neighborhood if we want to become a superpower or a big power or a major power in international arena. India realizes this, and we find that the prime ministers during that period tried to achieve that only. We see that despite Pakistan's provocation uh, on many times in the form of cross border terrorism, Delhi tried to sustain engagement with Pakistan, and this approach helped India. It helped India to manage the nuclear transition in the subcontinent, limit the war to resolve uh, various issues, to reverse Pakistan aggression across a line of control on many times, especially in Kargil. India also expanded its economic relations with Pakistan, and it instituted a set of military and civilian confidence building measures. So India tried to have cordial relations with Pakistan, keep communication channels open with Pakistan, and many confidence building measures were taken. We all know how Vajpayee ji traveled to Lahore on a bus to create a friendly atmosphere between India and Pakistan. Similarly, a bus service between Dhaka and India was also started. So, efforts were being made that India's neighborhood, its neighbors remain content and have cordial relations with the country. Uh, if we look at different prime ministers, we find that the process which was started in 1977-78 by Atal Bihari Vajpayee of having good relations with India's neighbors was continued in various periods. Rajiv Gandhi also tried to do that. SARC was established during his tenure only, and IPKF was sent to Sri Lanka during his time, although it proved to be not a very good move on the part of India. Uh, Regarding India's neighborhood, we must talk about Gujral Doctrine, which was a major breakthrough and which replaced Indira Doctrine. While Indira Gandhi was in favor of having bilateral relations with India's neighbors on an equal footing, and uh, she, the relations with the neighbors were made with the idea that they should also reciprocate to India's moves. Gujral doctrine changed it, and Gujral believed that to have more productive relations with our neighborhood, uh, we must be ready. to go extra miles, which is that if our neighbors are ready to move a little, then India would go more than half of its side. And without expecting much from neighbors, Gujarat uh, decided to help them. And this is why Gujarat doctrine uh, it stands out, it is distinguished, and it replaced Indra doctrine. So in post Cold War period, uh, Gujarat had seen the diminution of India's power vis-a-vis its small neighbors, and he also saw the growing ire, the growing antagonism among the neighboring elites against Delhi. So Gujarat outlined this doctrine that discarded the old emphasis on bilateralism and reciprocity, and he underlined India's willingness to walk more than halfway to resolve the existing bilateral disputes with the neighbors. He acknowledged that as the largest power in the region, India had to take great responsibility for promoting peace and prosperity in South Asia. Uh, in return, all he sought was uh, a generous approach of its neighbors, and he expected that the neighbors would not allow their territories to be used for anti India activities. The Gujarat doctrine generated much approbation in the region and in the West. But within the country, it was very much criticized, especially by the rightists who called this policy an appeasement policy. And they believed that India was trying to appease the recalcitrant neighbors. However, Gujarat's stint in power was very small, and he was replaced by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in power. His successor, that is Atal Bihari Vajpayee, continued with Gujarat doctrine, and he realized that having good relations with neighbors was a good move. And we saw that earlier too, when he was foreign minister during Janata Party government, he had tried to have good relations with India's neighbors, and he had visited all our neighbors. In fact, relations with China were also improved during the foreign ministership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So we see that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, with his team of advisors, that is Jaswant Singh, Yashwant Sinha, and his NSA, Brijesh Mishra, they are understood that a peaceful neighborhood was critical to achieving a larger Indian role in the world. And it was also realized that not only politically but economically too, India should adopt Gujarat doctrine. And so, on the economic front, we find Vajpayee signing bilateral free trade agreement with Sri Lanka, and he concluded South Asian Free Trade Agreement (SAFTA) much before months before he relinquished his position. He also assured the world that soon SARC would be moving towards SAU, and in fact he believed, he envisioned that by 2015 there will be SAU in the line of EU. Although his this conviction did not prove correct, and in fact SARC has become so irrelevant today. Uh, After him came Dr. Manmohan Singh, and it was under Manmohan Singh that Gujarat doctrine came into its own. As India's economic condition improved significantly, Manmohan Singh extended Gujarat doctrine to uh, India's neighbors at economic front also, in the realm of trade also. Manmohan Singh offered unilateral reductions for the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SARC countries, and underlined the importance of connectivity and promoted trade facilitation. So, Manmohan Singh, being a technocrat and economist, realized that having trade relations with India's neighbors would be to India's gain, and so he extended some trade tariff reductions to India's neighbors. So on economic front, we see that Gujarat Doctrine was extended. On the political front, too, India's vision of an immediate neighborhood began to extend beyond membership of SARC, and during this time, we see uh, some developments taking place in Afghanistan, and India was, of course, impacted by these developments. And Afghanistan was given membership of SARC during this period. BIMSTEC was formed, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. This was also formed. So you can say that India became part of a number of regional organizations, and it seems today that being member of all these organizations is not that much profitable, and in fact, they are burdening India down. However, uh, these organizations were either created by India or India sought membership of these organizations in a bid to have better economic and political relations with the immediate neighborhood, with the extended neighborhood. So we find that in 1990s and 2000s, India tried to improve its relations with its neighbors, and we see that when Modi came to power, even before he became prime minister, he tried to have good relations with India's neighbors by inviting all neighbors to his swearing in ceremony. So we see that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has continued with the policy which was adopted by Gujral or by Manmohan Singh or his predecessor in NDA, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Uh, all these efforts were made to have a balance of power in South Asia to India's favor. And India also realized the rising power of China may become a threat to it, because India is the only major power in South Asia which shares its borders with China. So, to balance China, also India required to have a good neighborhood, a peaceful neighborhood, a neighborhood which supports the democratic India and not the communist China. So this was all before uh, about 5 years ago, because today we see that China, through its BRI, has in a way adopted Gujarat doctrine only, where it is ready to go extra miles to help its neighbors and have them under its obligations, under its debt, in fact. So, in the light of latest developments, I think it is good that India should have peaceful relations with its neighbors, and and somehow uh, India should assume leadership in South Asia so that South Asia remains balanced and peaceful.